It's your boy Jay Bird 81 back at y'all again. One thing I realized about doing these YouTube videos, man, is happy Sabbath day. Is you're gonna get a lot of comments in the comment sections, and a lot of them you have to overlook, you have to ignore. Some of them you might have to erase, some of them you might have to report. But one thing I realize in this world is that the devil don't really want a lot of God's children to rise up and, get where they need to go on a righteous status and stuff like that. Because when you get to doing something good and people see how things going for you, they feel some type of way. You might have a good video with a powerful message in it, and it may be one part of the video or one part of the message that everybody don't like, that somebody don't like. And it's like, some things that I speak about is a message for certain people. It's not for everybody. So a lot of things, people may not resonate with. And I realize one thing is, when they say the devil like to kill, steal, and destroy, in a way they right. Because think about that person where they see you doing good, and then they might be on the sideline and they got a couple of friends they want to talk to, and they get together and they be like, you know what? I don't like so-and-so. He doing pretty good, she doing pretty good, but I bet they don't be successful all the time. I bet they this and they that. That's how the devil talk. He did the same thing with Job in the Bible. Well, Job only worship you because the stuff that you give him, that's why he doing good. I guarantee you, if I put him to the test, God, Job gonna curse you and die. Job didn't do it. Know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of people out here, they be acting like they children of Satan, hating on other people, and saying certain things when they watching people videos and stuff like that. But you gotta understand, it's something that you really can't avoid. It's something we all gotta go through. I don't care who you is, man, woman, or child. You could be the richest person in the world. You could have everybody in the world do whatever. Somebody out there gonna hate. Somebody out there gonna hate. Somebody out there gonna talk shit about you. Somebody out there gonna be talking so good about you that the haters gonna hear it and get even more fired up and hate you even more. So it's like, if you ain't getting no haters or somebody saying some stuff that you don't like, hey, you must not be doing something right. And one thing I realized about this world too is a lot of people, they don't know how to give things freely. I know you can't give everything away because, you may need, or you may have children and stuff like that, and you just can't up and give everything away, and you got a hungry mouth to feed. But you must know, it's people in this world that'll give their last, even the ones that have children. And somehow, some way, the right things manifest for them. And it just blow their mind. It'll blow your mind. I'm going to tell you where I learned this from. I learned this from my grandmother. My grandmother was from South Carolina, and she told me years ago when my mother was little, and she came from South Carolina, and they moved down here to Florida. And my mother was born here in Florida, but one of my aunties was born in Carolina, the oldest. My grandmother told me, man, it was days, I'm talking about, this was back in the 70s, 60s. This was back in the 60s. She said it was days that, wasn't no cell phones around then. Wasn't no delivery services around then. It was like, you had to walk miles to go to a store to pass a message, or if you could at least catch the mailman or whoever. But my grandma said it was times that she didn't know who to call, where to go. She ain't have no food whatsoever back in the 60s. And she said, she talked to God, and out of nowhere, there may be some lady walking up the street, sent by God, just out of nowhere, a lady walking up the street, and she might have maybe some food on her, or maybe some change, or probably a car where she could ride my grandmother to the store and bought food for my grandmother, and then my grandmother was able to get food back to the house to feed my aunties and my mother when they was little. So I was like, wow, listening to the stories where there wasn't that much convenience back in the 60s down here in Florida. And, if you was down and out, didn't have food and you had children, that's the biggest worry, to have children and can't feed them. And my grandmother say somehow, some way, divine intervention. Thank God, the creator Elohim, she was able to feed all three of her daughters, one of them being my mother. So it's like the devil will put you in a situation in this world where you will be scared to trust the divine when you see a family member being successful and you know that they always helped you. And then at that moment you become fearful because you get to thinking crazy, like, okay, what if this family member becomes successful and forget about me? But all along, they've been helping you all along. What make you think they're going to forget you now that they're successful? Little thoughts and little doubts like that. That's what stops people. Satan, the devil, put doubts in your mind, and you get to having the wrong type of thoughts right when you're at the finish line, and then you had a wrong type of thought at the finish line. But what if I trip and fall before the finish line and somebody else win before me? Like, it's so difficult to keep the wrong thoughts out your mind nowadays, because you can't help but pick up on thoughts, being that we're in the atmosphere where we receive everything in this world. And when we receive thoughts that don't be ours sometimes, because we're here in this atmosphere, the same way you might step outside and your nose can't help to pick up the smell of somebody barbecuing, or a smell of something that's dead in the area. You can't help but pick it up, and you know it's not you. So, it's the fear that Satan, the devil, and his children put in others, and doubts and stuff that cause you to block your blessings, so to speak, or knock you down before you get to the finish line when you was just about to cross it. Or somebody come and say something out the blue because somebody feeling some type of way, and they can't see they self being successful through you. So they separate themselves as, they think they all that, or he think he all that, this and that. Listen, if you got problems and you're miserable, don't come putting your comments and stuff on my YouTube channel comment page. Because I'm the type of person, I'm gonna tell you what I did one time that might sound crazy. I get this from my grandfather. Years ago, I was introduced to a girl, stayed up in Gary, Indiana, right? I used to be Jehovah's Witness, but not no more. But down here in Florida where I live, there was a brother that went to the same congregation that I went to. And he hooked me up with his niece. I think they were like American mixed with Panamanian. They were Hispanic. Jamaican mixed with Panamanian. So they stayed way in Gary, Indiana. And this his niece that I used to talk to, she was going through a situation where their mother had died, but they had their real father. And whenever she get depressed thinking about her mother, she would cure her depression or therapy by going out shopping and blowing money. So one day they didn't have no grocery in the house. She blowed money. I sent this girl $300. Never met her, never seen her, never went to travel to visit her. I sent this girl $300, Western Union, to get her some groceries. I ain't have sex with her ever. Never went to Indiana to visit her. None of that. From the bottom of my heart, out of a income tax check. And I didn't mind. I'm the type, man, I can give away my last. I can give away $1,000 and don't care. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't have much financially. But one thing I do have is spiritual power, where I can speak things and they happen. I don't help everybody with like that. Because if I speak things and make somebody happen in the life of somebody who's a demon or who's jealous and they ain't changed their ways, that could fall back on me for using that power irresponsibly to speak and say stuff to others or help others. Ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? Yet, when we pray or ask the Creator in prayer for things that we give thanks for, this is how Christ was able to feed 5,000. He probably didn't pray for just those 5,000 to be fed. He sent out a prayer for the whole earth to be fed that day. And the 5,000 was included in that prayer, the whole earth. My uncle always taught me one thing, and that's going to be the title of this video. No matter what you go through in life, never be afraid to think big. Even when it comes to prayer or talking to the Creator or giving thanks for something that you need or desire. Never be afraid to think big. Love y'all.